Okay, so right now, I can't sleep right now and not even understand the things going on in my life right now. But, you know, like, God has woke me up today and wanted me to make this YouTube video and tell you straight up the first hand and stuff like that. So, and like, yes, this is a rant. This is something I've been trying to take off my mind and all that stuff that happened, completely. Sorry to get my vape real quick. But, you know, the one thing I want to say is that I wasted my 20s. And, you know, I'm gonna be upfront and be totally honest about this. I'll tell you the reason why I wasted my 20s. So, the reason why I wasted my 20s is, because I was entitled. I was a rich sport kid. But there was more than that, you know. But there was more than that. You know, I was a liar. I mean, I don't know if my mutual friends actually see this or see this video, but I was a habitual liar and stuff like that, man. Like, and today I recently dropped my album, my last album, and stuff like that. So the reason why I actually say this because like I wasted, I wasted my 20s on, on parties, girls, booze, and and wasting alcohol. See, like alcohol and substance use was drugs. So, you know, for me, for me, I'm gonna tell you my backstory. My backstory, I was in high school. I was a three-time state qualifier. You know, in high school, I didn't smoke until my senior year. You know, everything was completely well and brand. Like I had like wrestling offers from like Boss College. I had a I had a letter that made me want to wrestle internationally, and I had like an offer that would, and I had an offer from, well, not an offer but a walk on from from Franklin Marshall. I want you to tell you this because like I was really good at sports. But what actually caused this is that I went to TCC, which is now TSC, and I transferred to Florida State at that time. And I thought perfectly that like it was gonna be the magical love story that I had with my life and stuff like that. Honestly, it's not. Honestly, it's not. You know, no, people can call me the popular whatever kid, whatever reason. But in reality, like I was dumb. I was a dumb idiot at that time. You know, like like for me, like I was more naive than anyone else in my life. Honestly, pretty much I didn't know what was like in my 20s. You know, in my 20s I chased rock and roll a lot. And like for me, like it wasn't fun anymore. You know, I had to, like I was drinking a lot in my 20s. Like I was drinking whiskey, I was drinking Sprite. Like, and I would steal money from people. Like, and it's bad, honestly. You know, and and the thing with my family is now married and have kids and stuff like that. Like, but I'm not gonna get into all that. Like I'm happy for him, but honestly, like I was a nice guy. And being a nice guy is very toxic. And honestly, I've learned, like, I am learning that lesson now, honestly. And, like, I can go back years and years and years of just becoming a nice guy all my life. And, it was terrible. It was terrible to say all this. You know, for me, like, I would stutter. I don't have money, like, I mean, honestly, like, I have a disability. I have autism, I have Asperger's, like, there's people that give up on me, you know, because of my actions and my choices, The truth is, honestly, like, I should have focused on the haves, because, like, a lot has happened in, like, in my 20s. But the good news that is in my 20s is that, like, I've accomplished so much far in life, but yet I'm still stuck in square one. You know, I realized a lot happening in life, like, and I realized that there was a pattern going on that was in a cycle, and it was spinning like 130 miles per hour. And honestly, like I was a liar and stuff like that, and it pains me so hard and so deeply. I mean, like, like, there's, I mean, like, there's things that I've been called as a weirdo, and, rightfully so, rightfully what to say. But honestly, I realize now in reality is that, like, like, about me lying. So, like, here's my personal take on, if you want to be like me, taking psychiatric medications and antipsychotics. Right now I'm taking Keppra 3,000 milligrams. I'm taking Zeodon 20 milligrams twice a day. I mean, for the Levertam, I'm taking like 1,500 twice a day. You know, and honestly, man, like, like, here's the thing: don't be like me. You know, because, like, in my 20s, I wasted so much, so much potential in my life. You know, like, like, you can go to college in Ireland. You can go to college outside of the country. You can go to college outside of the state. But, honestly, man, like, for me, like, I was a wild card and a wild kid during my childhood. And I never really got to learn from that. Like, my mom and my dad did the best they could, and I love my parents. And, like, and through all of the years that I did that, I mean, I hated my parents, like, and honestly, like, honestly, as a kid, you should never do that. And realizing this thing is kind of hard to understand, you know, to understand when you're autistic and stuff like that. But, you know, honestly, I've realized I've lied to myself, and I lied to others, like, and, the dangers of lying to yourself can lead you in a dark path that no one wants to say. You know, with, like, the truth is, when you have no friends and you lie to them, they may not say it with you. I mean, and they may not say it to you, but the truth is, like, you gotta be all in your 20s, and for me this year, I've learned it the hard way. you know I've learned that nothing comes free. You know, I've learned that, you know, like when you lie to yourself, you become this cynical, hated man, and it really does. And it really does a number on you. Really, really bad. So, you know, and also with money, like I I wasted like I was partying like all night completely. Like and the saddest part is that like I didn't have like 1 grand to my name. You know, that's the thing I hid from a lot of people because at that time I at that time like when I had the van in 2022, I would have. I mean, it was gonna be fun, honestly, and not really do anything. But now, but now when you look back, every like it actually repented on me. Like there's a verse. I mean, like there's a verse for there's a verse in the Bible. There's a verse in the Bible for a man who aligns on his goals, and and that verse is like Proverbs 18 verse 5. So a lot of so like I was an enabler. Yes, like I was an enabler and all that stuff. Like I'm for me, like I like I did a poetry book, about like the dark side of me, and you know and it's not fun to do, but like I grinded it out and did everything I could. So, here's my takeaway from a lot of things that happened to me. And if you're watching this video, I want you to actually say, well, let me take that back. If you're watching this YouTube video, here's my takeaway advice. Don't lie to others, because if you lie to others, they will look at you like nothing happened, and they'll look at you like you're crazy. And 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 have a plan. Have a plan to save a budget, because here's one thing. I was I was watching porn. I was a porn addict for 18 years. Now it's almost 2 decades, and like when the dangers of becoming a porn addict is like you can't shower yourself, you're unmotivated, your brain isn't like wired enough, and like and honestly it lacks all of ambition. So for people to understand, like don't ever like watch porn ever. And with my story of lying, so I lied to a lot of people over the years, and I was good at hiding the lies. But the truth is that like I I was not man enough. I was not man enough whatsoever, you know. See, like if I had well, my roommate, my former roommate, Calvin, like he was a really good guy and stuff like that. But with me, you know, like, but with me, when you're a when you lie and you keep continuing over the years, people are not going to trust you. So I'll tell you my story on the lying. See, I mean, like with my lying, it all started back in 2017, where I mean, like where I didn't know nothing, I didn't know what to do, like, and fast forward to, you know, and fast forward to, you know, and fast forward to 2023, you know, I had a job in Nashville. A job accepting in Nashville. And I made this huge hurrah and going to Nashville. Like, yeah, 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 I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. You know, but then when reality sets in, like you can't you can't make three times the rent. You can't do all that stuff. So, you know, basically you're stuck in ground zero. I mean, honestly, like when you lie, and yes, like, and honestly, with artists that I met in Nashville and stuff like that, I stole like a lot. I stole like I stole more than 20, and like honestly, like honestly, I've regretted most of my life of doing that. So, and like, and with that actually catched on and all that stuff. So like, and like, and when you lie, God watches you and repents for all the things that you've done. So yeah, so like if you're in your 20s and you're in your 30s, like like don't end up like me or don't become like me, because I mean, like, it's not good to lie to others, and it's not good to hate a lot of people. And the reason why you should not hate people is because, like, people will help you. 'Cause people will help you, and people will actually make you become the person who you really, really are. You know, like right now, I'm staying in my mom's house for over 10 years, and and I look like a bum. Matter of fact, look at my room. So yeah, so like this is result when you lie to others. When you lie to others and you don't commit to what you do. So I hope this video helps you out. I hope this video gives you clarity of the reality of lying to yourself, and and what actually destroys you in your body. All right, peace.